everybody. So today we're going to be talking about the idea of working and not working. So I imagine that if you are a freelancer, creator, creative, actor, that you have a series of day jobs to supplement your income and support you when you're not working doing your main job, such as acting. So I have several day jobs, and I want us to have a little think about those jobs. Do we enjoy those jobs? Do we get fulfillment and satisfaction out of those jobs, even if it's just one little thing that we can get out of each of those jobs? Because you know what? We're quite likely to be working in those day jobs quite a bit more than we are working as an actor. Or some people are very, very lucky and they work an awful lot as an actor, or sometimes we can have long periods where we are working as an actor. But often that's not the case, and we have shorter periods or we have big gaps where we're doing those day jobs. So I think it's actually really, really important that we enjoy those things that we're doing when we're not acting, when we're not doing those creative things. So when I first moved to London, it took me quite a long time actually to find work, but eventually I found some work, and then after a while I realised, you know what, there's only about one of these jobs that I actually really enjoy doing, and I did get some acting work as well, but when I wasn't doing the acting work, I thought, well, you know what, I'm just really not satisfied with what I'm doing, and I need to be enjoying what I'm doing most of the time. So I made quite a big effort to have a big change up and find some other work that I really enjoyed, and now I have about 3 or 4 jobs that I really, really enjoy doing, and I find that I really get something out of each job. So I work in a theatre bar, which I really enjoy. The people are very lovely. A lot of them are also creatives, which is really nice. We can have a little chat and share ideas, and obviously even the people that are not, we obviously have a lovely time and we chat and have great conversations. That's really nice. I like to talk to people going in to see the show. That's lovely. You can have a little chat about theatre with them. And also it's just nice to do something different, you know. We often think as actors that or a lot of people I think that we've only got that skill, that we don't have a lot of other skills, and I totally disagree with that. I think all of us have so many different skills. Like, why not use them? It seems a shame to waste them, you know. So let's use them in other jobs. The other jobs that I have, I work with children, which I really love. I find that very rewarding. If you enjoy working with children, maybe there's a job that you could find that you'd find really rewarding and enjoyable, working with children or young people. I regularly get up in front of a class, which I sort of feel is a bit of a performance, so that helps to kind of keep me fresh, keep me like not being sort of freaked out when I get in an audition room, because I feel like I'm doing a bit of a performance anyway. I sort of need to warm my voice up a bit, so it keeps my voice warm, my instrument, or whatever you want to call it. And also I do role play work, so like medical role play, corporate role play, going in pretending to be a different character, and I think that's really useful as well. You meet lots of different people, you're getting paid to act, and also I think it's a really useful skill and useful job for continuity. So if you're filming on a set, you'd need to give a reasonably level performance, but also produce something similar again and again. In role play work, you often have to produce quite heightened emotions several times, say 14 times in a row, which is very similar to doing takes on films and TV. So something like that, I think you're also getting some skills that you can use for your acting work. And I think there's lots and lots of jobs out there where you can develop your skills to use for your acting work or your creative work, and you can also find real enjoyment in them. So how can we go about getting these jobs? Because they are out there, they definitely are. Can you do a little bit each day or each week towards finding some work that you enjoy? Can you do an application a week? Let's think about that bottom line list again. Can we do an application a week? Can we do a little bit of research into those jobs? Can we put some feelers out there, contact some friends that might have some connections in jobs like that? So I think there are some few things that we can do, a few little things that we can do to see if we can find work that we find fulfilling when we're not doing our other work. I think that's really important. I think it's important for us to really enjoy the day-to-day and not just find enjoyment in the acting work and the other work. Okay. One of my favourites, exercise. So, do you feel fit and healthy? If a job came along, would you be ready for that job? Would you be able to cope with the long working hours? Maybe doing a job in the theatre is really taxing, is really, really tiring. Are you fit enough? Are you healthy enough? Have you got the stamina for that? If not, what can you do about that? Could you start running? Could you start walking a lot more? Even walking up the escalator a lot more, rather than standing on the escalator. I know I like to stand on the escalator to have a little rest sometimes, but I often do think, actually, I want to challenge myself. I want to walk up. Can you join a gym? Can you do some classes at home? Could you do a bit of yoga to help you with your breathing for when you might need to project your voice in theatre, or whatever job it is, a voice job or a singing job, whatever it is. So what do you think you could do in the day-to-day to help you with those roles in terms of exercise? Okay, sorry, I have the hiccups. Okay, what skills do you think you could learn? Are there any skills you've really always wanted to learn, or are there any skills that you think could really help you in getting to that next level of your career or getting that next job? Is there an instrument that you've always wanted to learn? Could you borrow, has a friend got that instrument that you could borrow maybe? Could you learn, say, a couple of chords on the guitar a week? Or set aside 5-10 minutes to practice that? Is that something you could do? Could you read some plays? Are there some plays with some gaps in your knowledge there? You think, oh, I don't really know that area, I don't really know that playwright, it'd be really useful to know, or I'm just really interested in that. There's a play, I can't remember what it is now. There's a play that I haven't read that I've wanted to read for a while, and I thought, why aren't I reading this? I should definitely be picking this up and reading it. I like to do my reading on the tube because there's not any phone signal. So it's a really good opportunity to read. So you could be doing some reading on the tube. I often carry books around in my bag. Could you learn some monologues? Could you learn something so that then you have this broad range of stuff to audition with? Or could you just learn something just to keep you a bit fresh, just to keep you practicing your craft, so to speak? Could you learn a monologue a week? That's something I've been doing recently, and it's been really great actually. It's been really, really enjoyable. I've loved it. I've got to really practice my acting, and I've also been able to just learn a whole bunch of new monologues and read new plays, which is just brilliant. Okay. Or could you read about something else? Could you read about something, just any book? Is there a book you just really want to read? Because that's brilliant. Any expansion of your mind and learning is just awesome. We never stop learning, so that's brilliant. What about watching shows? I think most of us have Netflix, Amazon, whatever it is. Could we start watching more dramas or more comedies or whatever it is, to see what's out there, to see what's being produced, to see what's being made, to see who's directing it, who's casting it, to get us to have a think about what we might want to be in, what jobs we might want to do. And also, I went to a workshop with a casting director once, and she did a little interview portion in a kind of mock audition. And I started chatting about this documentary I'd watched, which involved this well-known film director. And she said, what you just said there is so interesting, and I want to call you back because you actually seem like an interesting person to work with and like a fun person to work with. And you've been doing something with your time when you're not acting. So I think that's really, really valuable. And why not use that downtime we have when we're watching Netflix? Maybe we can stop watching Friends for a bit. I know, I could definitely do that and watch something else. Watch a drama, watch a comedy, watch something else. Also the theatre and the cinema. Can we get some cheap tickets? Can we put aside a little bit of money, do you think, to go and see a show every couple of weeks, or I think some cinemas do like £5 tickets on a Tuesday or something. Could we go and see like the latest film, or maybe make that a little treat for yourself? Could we do that as a little treat as well? Writing or creating your own work. Have you got something to say? I think everybody has something to say. They say that everyone has a story within them. Could you start writing? Don't put pressure on yourself to make it be amazing. You don't have to be the next best playwright, next best thing. But could you just start writing some stuff about things you're interested in, about things you've been thinking about? Start it as a stream of consciousness and see where it goes. You can develop it or you can not develop it. But it could really get your mind ticking over, and it could start to feel really fulfilling creating and writing your own stuff. Something to think about. I might do another video on creating your own work later on, but just something to spark our imagination for now. Okay. And my final point, which I think is quite an important one actually, could we start doing a bit more in terms of learning, in terms of attending classes or a class? Could we put a little bit of money aside each month? I know classes are really expensive, but could we maybe do like one a month so that we can go into a class, be with other people who are in a similar situation to us? I think that's quite important actually, a bit of camaraderie, a bit of support, but also just go into a class and just play around with a script, just enjoy acting without the pressure of you trying to get a job or whatever it is. Just go in, play around. You could say to a tutor, I want to work on this week, or find a class where you can work on something that you really want to work on. Maybe it's Shakespeare, maybe it's modern text, whatever it is, screen acting, whatever it is. Could you find a class where you feel like you can do that and you can go in and play? And then when you get into the audition room, you might feel a bit calmer, because you might feel like, oh, I did this last week. I know I feel like that when I've been to classes. I actually feel a lot calmer when I go into an audition room, because I feel like, oh, well, I've just been acting anyway. Like, I haven't had these big gaps in not acting. So is there something you could do to help you feel more comfortable, help you feel more like that? Something I really love to do is when I film my monologues, my friend directs me, and I really love that because I get to take these new pieces of direction, and it keeps me and her kind of playing with the text and enjoying it, and it's really, really lovely actually, and it's really helpful. And now I feel like, going into different auditions, I'll be, be very comfortable with that sort of thing. So to recap, first, our day jobs. Do we feel happy, satisfied, fulfilled within those jobs? If not, can we find something within the jobs that we already have to help us feel more satisfied, help us feel more fulfilled, to get more enjoyment out of those jobs? If not, what steps can we take towards finding jobs that we do enjoy, that we do get some satisfaction and fulfillment out of? Can we apply to maybe one new job a week? Can we do a bit of research into what else is out there, what else we might enjoy doing with our time? And can we have a little think about what we can get out of those jobs that maybe would help us in our main careers? Is there something that we can get out of them? I think there's always something that we can get out of each job, even if it's maybe just getting out of our heads for a while and connecting with another person and speaking to another person or listening to them, and it takes us out of our own heads and stops us thinking about our worries and what we have going on. So there's even that, I think, Exercise, number 2. Do we feel fit and ready for that next big job or that next job? If not, what can we do about that? Can we join a gym? Can we go for a run? Do a bit of yoga to help with our breathing? Whatever it is there something we can do towards that and take those little steps each day? Can we start to do 5 minutes of yoga each morning? Stuff like that. Skills we can learn. Learning an instrument, reading plays, reading monologues, reading about something else you might be interested about. Is there something else that we can read or learn about, or a skill that we can develop? Watching shows, on Netflix, Amazon, whatever it is. Can we find some new dramas, some new comedies, something in an area maybe we want to work in or something we're just interested in? Who's directing it? Who's casting it? Can we learn more about what's going on in our industry? Could be a good thing to chat about in an audition, and it's also just interesting to know, and you get to watch more TV, which is great. Can we save up a bit of money to go to the theatre or the cinema, even if it's only every couple of weeks or once a month, whatever it is, do that as a treat for yourself. £5 cinema, I think, happens on Tuesdays sometimes. It's something you can do. Can you start writing just as an outlet for our thoughts, or also to help us feel a bit more creative? Can we start doing a bit of writing? Again, thinking about that bottom line list, can we set it at 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Because I find when I write, if I set 10 minutes, I'd always go way over that because I've set myself so little to do, and then you always just want to keep writing. Can we put aside a little bit of time or have a little look for a class, an acting class or a skills-based class, something that you want to do, working on a script, something like that, just to get in a room and play around with the script, play around with some text, or a skill or whatever it is that you want to do for our own enjoyment, and so that when we do get into that audition room or that interview room, whatever it is, that we don't feel so freaked out because we think, you know what, I've already been doing this. I've already been playing around. I of course I still know how to act because I've been doing it, you know. Sometimes we think we've forgotten how to act or we've forgotten how to do that main job. We haven't, but we often just feel like we have because we haven't been doing it as much. But if you're in a class or you're getting together with a group of friends and reading scripts or playing around with scripts, I think it would maybe help you to feel more comfortable when you get into that room to try and get that job. So yeah, a few things there. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching, and thank you for the lovely responses to the last video as well. That's really wonderful. Do keep those responses coming, keep those comments coming. I'd really love to hear your comments and feedback. Let me know what other videos you would like to see and your thoughts. And yeah, thanks so much, guys. Bye.